right. So a little bit about me before we start. My name is Morgan. I am a core energetics practitioner and an integrative health coach. And I work mostly out of Manhattan as well as Beacon, New York. I used to be a dancer, and reflecting back on that, I really noticed that I developed an outside in perspective on myself and my relationship with my body. And I was really focused on more of a performance and discipline mentality when it comes to my relationship with my body. Um, at the peak really of my dance career, I experienced a back injury that made me take a step back. And I started to notice I was having a lot of pain and tension in my body, and I held so much anger towards my body. I really noticed that I was so disconnected from who I was, what I wanted, how I was showing up in the world. And I really developed a belief that my body failed me. It let me down. And, being a dancer in the world of dance, I had this back injury and also was really in my own struggles of body image and eating disorder. And I started to really feel this split from myself and this big disconnection to who I was. And I really believe that that's what brought me to core energetics. And I had this opportunity in getting into the core community to really look at what was going on internally for me and slow things down and break cycles, so to say. Um, with core, I was introduced to a really new way of relating to myself and to others. And as I really grew in the work and started to really connect to my deepest dreams and desires, I started to think about what kind of legacy I was going to bring and leave, and not just with any future children, but also the relationships that I have and I've brought into my life. And I started to really feel that I wanted to build something more grounded and more in touch with what was true for me. And what I had experienced prior to core wasn't anything I could base off of. I was disconnected and angry. And so core is really the main thing that has helped me find and heal this relationship I have with myself. And that really takes us full circle into the theme of tonight, is how to build a healthy relationship with our bodies. And truly, like any relationship, it begins with awareness. So to kick us off, I'd really like us to step into an embodiment experience and start to notice how we truly speak to ourselves. Ask ourselves questions and tune into the assumptions that we create about our bodies. And notice when the shoulds pop in and things that can disconnect us from our true experiences. Now, my hope when we move into this experience is to keep in mind that we're all human. And it's not about moving into a space where you love yourself all the time, right? It's about developing a relationship, a give and take, and really focusing in on the thoughts that come up and working to eliminate the judgment. And so I'm curious, and I hope for tonight, as we move into the experiential, that we can just allow our inner experiences to come forward. And remember that we have internalized beliefs that were brought up in ways that we might not even realize. And if you think back to the relationships you had with caregivers, or maybe cultural messages you received, or peers, things you picked up from the peer groups you were in, this all gives us an opportunity to really slow down and notice without judgment. So with that, I'm going to invite everybody to pause for a moment and just take a second to look a little bit deeper. And so let's begin by finding a comfortable position, either sitting right where you are, or if it feels available to you, maybe standing, bending your knees and feeling a bit more grounded. And when you're ready, go ahead and close your eyes. And take a moment just to arrive in the room, arrive in your body, arrive in this moment in time. We're going to take 3 slow breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And let your exhale soften your body each time. One more inhale here. And exhale and soften. Now bring your awareness to the top of your head. We're going to gently scan our body. As we approach each part, see if you can place intention on silently saying, "This is my body part. Thank you." And let's begin. Take an inhale and begin at the top of your head. This is my head. Thank you. Exhale and move to our face. This is my face. Thank you. Move to the jaw. This is my jaw. Thank you. Inhale and feel your eyes. These are my eyes. Thank you. Inhaling now into our necks. This is my neck. Thank you. Releasing any tension around the shoulders. We breathe in. These are my shoulders. Thank you. And bring the attention to our arms. These are my arms. Thank you. Inhale and fill your chest. Exhale. This is my chest. Thank you. Inhale again and let your belly fully fill. This is my belly. Thank you. Bring our intention now into our hips. Inhale, these are my hips. Exhale. Thank you. Moving now into the legs. These are my legs. Inhale. Exhale. Thank you. Inhale one last time and feel your feet spreading flat on the ground like pancakes. These are my feet. Thank you. Take a few more slow breaths here in your own time and take note of any areas in your body where you might be holding tension. Maybe there's some tightness or discomfort, and see if you can greet that with kindness and compassion. And remember, we're not fixing anything. We're just noticing. Take an inhale here. And then exhale. Now go ahead and place one hand on your heart or your belly, whatever feels most comfortable. And allow yourself to ground in the moment. Inhale deeply. Exhale. And remember, again, we're not changing our body. We're just learning to be with it and offering compassion. Inhale and exhale. When you feel ready, I invite you to gently blink open your eyes. And maybe that experience was grounding. Maybe it was emotional, maybe uncomfortable. Maybe you noticed things came up for you, whether it be thoughts, body tension. I'd like to offer just a couple moments now for anybody to write into the chat what came up for you, if anything, in a couple words. Maybe a body experience, a physical experience, whatever came. I'll give a couple moments for that. Thank you, Carla. I see awareness. Oh, thank you, Lindsay. You realize some tension, holding of different parts of the body, a soothing experience. So many different experiences happened, and we all walked through the same experiential. Thank you for taking some time to write in how you're feeling. So it's one thing to start to notice what comes up in the body. The next step in building a new relationship with your body is to listen and learn what the body is actually saying to you. And when we slow down and start to notice, we start to really see that the body is constantly talking to us, whether it's through sensations, through different tension patterns, through discomfort. Sometimes we get a pain or a tightness in our chest or a knot in our throat in moments of pain or discomfort. And all these physical expressions and sensations are often unprocessed emotions that we experienced in the past. And sometimes what comes up in the body is difficult to understand, but they are important and really shouldn't be ignored or overlooked. It's the silent wisdom of our bodies trying to speak. And so, in my experience, learning to slow down the process and tune in a curious way, you start to really understand what the messages of the body are. In core energetics, we often say that the body is a container of our entire emotional life. In moments when we don't feel safe or we're not available to give our truest expression, we may have learned to take whatever is coming up for us in whatever form and push it to the side and put it away, and ignore the messages that come up for us. The problem with that is that they don't really disappear. They live there. They become part of our structure and how we show up in the world. And sometimes the pushing away of the feelings is what creates the pain. And so we learn to listen, and it helps us build a different type of trust in what arises in the body. Many times we're taught in this ignoring, we don't honor what's truly happening for us. So as we slow down and listen, we start to understand the messages my body is giving me is worth listening to. It's the wisdom again. So my hope in offering this outlook and offering this slowdown to really listen is so that you can learn that and truly start to embody this belief that your body isn't working against you. It's actually working for you and trying to communicate things that we might have initially missed. And so we develop our connection and our ability to listen in and tune in, and that connection becomes a little bit easier for us. And the most important thing, and sometimes the hardest, but the most important, is to listen and try not to judge, right? Because the world is hard enough sending judgment in all directions. So the least we can do is really focus on what comes in and let go of any judgment and be with. Nothing is good or bad. It just is the experience. And so as we move into our next experiential, let's just take a moment, really tune into your body here right now, and do a quick scan and notice if there's any areas that need a bit of releasing or maybe holding tension. Maybe stretch out, maybe give your limbs a little bit of a shake and allow yourself to come more present into the moment right now. All is welcome. You can make silly faces and flap your arms. It's all good. I saw some silly faces in there. And as you tune in and listen, really ask your body, what do I need? What would benefit me? What would make me feel more here? And as you find stillness in that place, we're going to move into another experiential and really notice the things that we store in our muscles and our bones. And so let's take a moment and settle. Find a position where you feel comfortable. Again, you can sit upright right where you are, or if it feels available, go ahead and stand, maybe even lie down. And allow yourself to soften in this moment. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Let your jaw relax. Maybe bring your hands to your jaw and just give a bit of pressure. Yeah. And let yourself arrive just as you are. Let's take a deep breath through our nose and slowly exhale out of our mouths. Again, breathe in and out. One more time, inhale deeply. And let it go. Allow your inhale and exhale to signal to your nervous system that it's safe to be here. It's safe to slow down. Inhale again. Exhale. When you're ready, bring to mind a moment in your life when you felt joy. It could be something big, or maybe even something extremely small. A quiet, meaningful moment, or a time that made you uncontrollably laugh. And let it be whatever it is that comes up. And see if you can recall where you were, who you were with, and what was happening. Breathing in the feeling of the memory. And let it come to your body. Not just your mind, but see if you can really move it into your body below the neck. As we let this feeling and moment settle in our bodies, let's get a little bit curious about it. Try and ask yourself, does this feeling have a color? Take a deep breath here. Maybe it has a sound. And if it had a sound, would it have a vibration? Would it be fast? Maybe slow? Does it remind you of someone? Maybe something. In your body, wherever it's showing up for you? Does it feel heavy? Does it give you a sense of air, of lightness? And take a deep breath. And in this moment of joy, maybe you enjoy it. Maybe it feels unfamiliar, unsettling. Allow it to be whatever it is. And as we let this experience radiate in the body, we're going to scan through the top of the head down to the feet. And notice, where are you feeling the energy of joy the most? Is it moving through your body? Is it in one spot? Does it make you feel expansive? Does it keep you contained? Really let yourself be present with whatever is showing up. And remember, it's not good or bad. It's just information. When you feel ready, I invite you to open your eyes and find yourself in the room that you're seated in. And just take a look around. And let your attention float around the room to see what's in front of you, maybe behind you, and orient yourself in the space. Again, if you feel comfortable and you'd like to share what came up for you, the chat is still open, and feel free to share anything that came. And really allow this experiencing of the experiential not get stuck in your mind. Allow it to travel into the body and let the body speak for what it just experienced. Maybe what's present for you here, and if anything surfaced in the exploration. And just note whatever did come up, if anything, it's all wisdom. When we slow down, we offer our body a moment to really hear clearly. I see some people added that they felt blissful and painful altogether. I really understand that. Thank you for sharing. Noticing that there was different temperatures in different parts of the body with the moment and experience of joy. What a beautiful image. Wading in a creek. Thank you for that. It's beautiful. Mm. And again, just to point out, right, like even the experience of joy and being in with what that brings us, everybody has a different experience. It shows up in the body in such different ways, giving different insight and bringing different wisdom. And thank you for sharing the vulnerability and giving in the insight. Thank you. Yes, so in moments of the joy, we even notice the sadness that exists as well. Thank you. So as you know, this evening comes nearing the end, I have a few questions that I'd like to offer for you to hold on to as you move about your evening. And the first one is, what would safety in your body feel like? And get really curious with yourself. Notice if you go to the place of what it should feel like, and see if you can let that go and be with what your body tells you feels like, what safety feels like. And something that I like to hold on to in the experience of healing, in whatever way that looks for you, we're not eliminating experiences, right? Sometimes we develop a belief that as we heal, we become, you know, without pain or without hardship. But really, we're learning to be with it and experiencing it in ways that feel different for us. And it doesn't mean we'll never feel these moments again, because we will. It's life. But slowing down and listening allows us to develop different tools to deal with the pain as it comes to you, as it's put on your plate in front of you. And we build this deeper awareness of ourselves so that we can return quickly when we get taken off course. We can know that we have the answers within to slow and breathe and return to our body's wisdom. And the more we do that, and the more we practice this compassionate voice within us, the relationship we have shifts and changes to be one that's warmer towards ourselves and our center. It's always important to remember we're beginning, always at the beginning. Another question that I would love to offer is, how do you want to feel in your body moving forward? And notice, even with the offer of that question, what comes into mind? Maybe something someone said to you many years ago about what your life should look like, or what success should be, and how you should show up in the world. And take a minute, let that sit to the side. See if it's possible to put the judgment off for a moment. Maybe try curiosity and ask these questions to yourself, and ask another question is maybe why I believe that. So I'd like to thank everybody for showing up and participating in these experientials. It's been a long journey for me in redirecting this conversation I have with myself. So it feels like a gift to share that with everybody here. Um, and as a thank you, I would like to offer a free 30-minute session to anybody that may be interested. After tonight, several emails will be sent out with a little bit more information, and it'll include my contact information. And so if you're interested in the continuing this journey and diving a little bit deeper into what happens for you and your story and pattern, I'd love to offer that. At this point, I am going to pass to Lindsay. She's the executive director of the CORE Institute. The Institute is a place where you can go to dive deeper into learning yourself and your own experience, or move forward in a practitioner track and begin helping others explore themselves deeper as well. So, Lindsay, I'll pass it off to you.
Thank you, Morgan.
Thank you.
I do want to, before I start chatting, I do want to make space. Morgan, you're open for questions as well?
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
So I do want to make space for anyone who wants to bring their voice in either verbally or through the chat, before I pivot to a different energy.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if anyone wants to bring themselves in that way. And no pressure. And if the chat feels better for you, the chat works.
So I'd like to ask a question, Lindsay.
Sure.
It feels really I can't even think of the word when perfect timing, because I feel like there's such a struggle happening for me in my body. And I was just really like almost surprised, and it was because of course I do this work and I understand the work, but in the first exercise, I was kind of like knocked out of my, like off my own equilibrium.
Mm.
Like I just was okay in my face. I'm okay in my, up to my throat. But as I was doing my body scan and I started to get lower in my body, it was very uncomfortable. All of the criticism that was very present,
Mm.
and it's very appropriate for how my behavior has been around food too. So it was really tied into that, this getting stuck in the belief system. And I just found myself like just wanting to like say, oh, I don't want to feel anything. So it's okay to feel up to here, but no more.
Mm.
Like, and then when you were asking the questions, I was really aware of like what safety feels like and how different that is for me at this age, and how that even at this age, working on this for 40 something years, I'm still in this space of like, safety has to be thin, safety has to be, attractive, say all of these messages that are internal. And then I was laughing because I was thinking, oh, safety has to be that my hips work and I can get off the floor. It's like it was such a like a
Yeah.
thinking place that was stuck in my head. And then also this reality of like how to be grateful that my hips are good, I can get up, I do have mobility. So it's just really an interesting to see these like the reality and also then the self-talk. It's almost as if they've existed in a different world together. So I felt really moved. And I was just also I get just stuck on what to do next all the time.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And I think it's really interesting because something that I have really noticed in working, um, and that just in this as a society, right? We really live in this separate world, and it's two of them. So you have the thinking brain and then the feeling body. And so it makes me so curious as you dropped into the feeling body, the voices that show up to protect you, right? From a place of wisdom. And so truly in the experience of how to build a healthy relationship with your body, right? Just to notice that moving a little bit lower, the criticism starts. Okay, can I bring compassion? Can I slow my breath? And again, what's important to hold on to is we don't want to change anything. We just notice and bring compassion. So thank you for sharing that. It's powerful, very moving.
Shocked me. Thank you.
Mhm.
I think, Claire, as you spoke, I was connecting with the vibration I felt in my throat and then the echo I felt in my belly. And then as you're talking now, I thought of like a tube of toothpaste that you squeeze, squeeze, squeeze to push everything to the top.
Mm,
Bottom's empty, but the pressure of the top is just the image I'm sitting with now of like there's a lot of heaviness, like buzzing, like
yeah.
upward stuff here. And then when I was in touch with my longing, it was like don't, dropped down to my stomach.
Thank you. It's interesting to note that the different sensations that even just the one experience brings to the body, right? And in a moment in life, in your day-to-day life, when the body experiences this, having the ability to really notice allows you to take the next step. And maybe I need to focus my energy somewhere else and do a little bit of grounding in the moment. So thank you for noticing and sharing the pattern, the pathway.
Hmm.
I wanted to add that the joy thing was so interesting for me because I was trying to find a memory of the joy and found a couple and realized that there was pain around it too. And I thought that's really odd that I have to include, like, why is the pain there also? And started asking myself, what is it in my body? Like, that's where I'm feeling the pain, even though the vision was of a joyful moment. But I realized I often used to overcompensate with overenthusiasm.
Hmm.
I would get ungrounded. And so joy did bring me pain because I had true joy, but it was like too much for the world. So I was overcompensating in my anxiety of the joy almost. So it was really interesting to see how much just in that one little experience, the complexity there. And
Yeah.
how different layers of myself feel all of it in different ways. So that, building that awareness was interesting. And then Claire, you said that you dropped out, like you kind of dropped out at one point. I did too. And I got nauseous. So that was really interesting. Like, I don't know what happened, but maybe there was something collective going on with us. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. And I think too, the nausea is just even more information. And I think it's so interesting to notice how both kind of happen at once. And in life, like how we can tell where we're actually at based on just that. Thank you, Cynthia.
Anything else anyone wants to bring in? A question or a comment from Morgan? Okay. It feels really good to be with you in this way, Morgan.
Thank you. It does. It feels really great.
I
Thank you for the
feel,
opportunity.
yeah, proud.
Thank
And I
you.
was never a teacher. I just, it meets my need for meaning. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
And as Morgan said, my name's Lindsay Gidiwe. I am greeting my son quickly. And I am the executive director at the Institute of Core Energetics. And I really just wanted to presence my voice and share my gratitude and my pride and one of our alums to connect with my own need for meaning. As the executive director, you're in a lot of administrative things that don't often feel incredibly meaningful. So tonight's a Breaking Cycles event is an opportunity for me to do all of those things. I do want to share with you that the Institute is a space for people to bring their full selves. We talk about one's wellness being attributed to not just their mind, but your spirit and your body as well. We have a variety of programs. There's a virtual primer that runs annually that you can find more information for on our website. There's a new in-person program happening to be really an easy entry point and accessible for people. That's going to be happening in New York City. And then as Morgan shared, we have a 2 and a 4 year program that happens in Connecticut. But I think the best way to introduce yourself to this work is through people like Morgan. To take her up on her offer for 30 free minutes. That's all you want to do. That's wonderful. And yeah, I think I'll just close by saying thank you for being here tonight, for spending part of your evening with us. And to let you know our doors are open. We love questions, we love inquiry, we love curiosity. Yeah, thank you so much for showing up this evening.
And just Lindsay, about the recording, is it going to be on the website or because
What we hope to do is to be able to share snippets of these messages and things that Morgan discussed on like a Facebook or social media. We recognize that not everyone is willing to show up 60 minutes online, much less for a full weekend. So what we're trying to get creative about is how do we bring this information to people when they're only able to digest 90 seconds of content, 2 minutes of content. So that's our aspiration for this. Just, how do we bring this type of supportive work to people in a way that they can meet it and we can meet them where they're at. So that's why we record it.
Great, thanks. I was just curious.
Yeah. All right. There's nothing more for Morgan or for anyone else here. We'll say thank you and good evening. Yeah, and we
Thank
see you in the future.
Thank you.
Carla.
Thanks, everybody.